Rap and Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. All right, we're back at it again for episode 30 of Rap and Reason podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins.
What's good, bro?
I'm good, man. Super Bowl.
I see you rock the jacket. I see
Feel
you brought
me?
the jacket out.
Yeah, it feels good to be in Philly, man. I can't complain,
Man, you've
bro.
been in
Another
Philly a
Super
couple
Bowl.
years. Look at you. They done got you.
I'm Phillied out, bro. It gets to you. The fan base gets to you. Like, you know what I mean? I
No,
was all Ohio everything till I stepped foot in Philly, man. It's crazy.
Now you know what? You're not lying though, bro. And it's crazy because I was partaking in all of the luxuries of the Eagles being in the Super Bowl. Like while I had free coffee, I was pulling up. I pulled up a couple times to get free coffee that day, man. Yeah, it's dope, man. I like the excitement. Eagles fans go hard. So I have to respect how hard Philly fans go for their sports. I don't even watch football, but but looking
Yeah.
at it, I'm like, I respect how hard y'all go.
Yeah, they go crazy, bro. It's infectious a little bit. Even when you like, I have people that in my family that hate the Eagles, but they're still like, I still want to see them win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause something about the Chiefs, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe some other outside stuff. Maybe it's the Swifty stuff. I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. My mom was on the same thing. My mom was all in on the Eagles. I was like, when you start liking it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think social media, man. I don't know if they're just doing a better marketing campaign for them, but it's a lot of people
Mhm.
in other cities who are gravitating to them. I think it's Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts. A lot of
Yep.
people just like him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I think Saquon. I think there's just people on the team that people are just gravitating to, and maybe the other squad ain't as likable. I don't know.
Yeah, nah, I can name a few. I think I think like yeah, bro, they just easy to hate. Like Patrick
Dang.
Mahomes' Kermit voice, like his wife's antics, man, the Taylor Swift hive or whatever, the Swifty, all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop. So what does wife do?
His wife is just annoying, bro. Like you know, with certain things that you
Not
can
liking
just
it, not liking the player because his wife annoying. That's crazy.
and like Patrick Mahomes, his brother Jackson Mahomes is a clown. You know what I mean? They're just easy
Okay.
to hate. I think the only redeemable quality for the Chiefs is Big Red, Andy Reid, who was the former head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. He never won a
Hmm.
chip here, unfortunately. He got close, but never won a chip here. But like he's beloved across the NFL, really. So he's the redeemable quality. But I think it was
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to see the Eagles kind of take one for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Nice, man. Shout out to the Eagles, man. And it would only be right if we discuss the Super Bowl halftime show. All
We
right.
got to.
For us
Yeah.
people who aren't as into sports, you know what I mean? It was the Kendrick Lamar show with some football action there. You know what I mean? That's but that game was a blowout from the beginning. It wasn't like it was a good back and forth. It was that exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, but the halftime show, man, for those who do not know, Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. This is actually the first full hip hop artist to headline the show, like by
Yeah.
himself. Like you got the West Coast show when it was Dr. Dre, Snoop, and it was a bunch of different people, but this is the first hip hop artist to solely headline
Yeah.
a Super Bowl concert by themselves. With that said, we've also recently got the stats that this is now the highest viewed Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
Insane. 133 million viewers, bro. Crazy.
Insane. Insane. And he passed out Michael Jackson. And to me, that sounds so bizarre. We were talking about this a little bit off the podcast. There might be some other factors there, I would imagine. I would imagine there are
Mhm.
just more people overall who are watching football now than when Mike did
Yeah.
it. Because it's hard for me to envision that there was anybody with a pulse who is not watching Michael Jackson at the halftime.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I think there's some other factors there, but nonetheless, um, Kendrick is now the most viewed one, man. So I want to I want to separate this. So first, let's do initial thoughts of watching it, just on first watch.
Yeah.
Who are some of your initial thoughts?
So first watch, like it's hard now because I've seen it like 5 times now, but I think initially I came away thinking like, man, this is like exciting. He essentially played all the records I kind of wanted him to play. I realized there wasn't a lot of throwback records though. Like there wasn't any records from Good Kid, Mad City. Um, but playing Humble, I think, did he play Loyalty or am I missing or am I
Nope,
tripping?
no look.
Okay. So it was Humble, okay, and then he played like a lot of
DNA,
GNX.
DNA.
DNA, yep, DNA. And he played a lot of GNX. Like he played our favorite record, clearly Peekaboo. I know that's one of your favorites or
I
whatever.
have a take on that. I have a take on that, by the way. But
Yeah. So initially though, and visually it looked cool. You know what I'm saying? I thought everything was straight. Talked to my homies on the left and the right side of me. I said I would give it about an 8 out of 10. Like I think that's fair. I would give it a B. Teeters B minus a little, or not B minus, but B plus. Like certain elements didn't really catch on first glance, but I think it's a solid 8 out of 10.
okay.
And that's because of the track list. I liked played, and of course he played the big record that everybody that wasn't always a Kendrick fan wanted to hear, which is not like us. You know what I mean? So I think it was electric, pretty much from start to the end. You know what I mean? What did you think first glance?
So first on the first watch, at the very beginning, I realized, oh, he's going completely left with this. I think that one
Mm,
thing that I noticed is that most people are used to seeing halftime performance, Super Bowl halftime performances be a montage of hits of just you doing. It's like a greatest hits performance,
yeah,
just doing all of your biggest songs. That's typically what it's been every year. So once he started off with a record that hasn't even fully been released, I said, okay, he's going a different direction.
yeah,
Um, and then him leading into other songs and him doing like "Man on the Garden," I was like, oh, okay, so he's not following any of the traditional standards of this.
yeah.
But on first watch, I'll honestly say the first thing that I noticed is I felt like that his mic wasn't loud enough. But that's the
Yeah,
first thing that I noticed out of the whole performance. I was like, why his mic is not loud enough. I feel like if you're gonna do that where somebody's rapping that much.
yeah.
I felt like they should have had his mic louder, but I loved it, man. He was rapping the whole time, and I didn't expect him to do all of the verses that he did. I
Crazy.
thought it was dope that he actually really put rapping on the forefront. He could have easily just came out there and just did a bunch of hooks and doing the chorus of each song, just to get the
Hmm.
crowd hype. But him actually going up there and showing off that I can really rap and showing off his lyrical abilities, I think was dope. I love the Samuel Jackson playing the Uncle Sam. I
Bro,
thought that
amazing.
I thought that guided the story well for me. So the first time I watched it, that was like exciting to me of him like playing into like, oh, you're playing all these other songs, you're not playing the game, and then him going into doing more of the like commercial songs with SZA, and then him being like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, that's more like it, and then him going back. I thought it was a dope way of
Fire,
guiding the
bro.
story,
Hmm.
and kind of like a lot of the critiques that it's getting too, and we'll get to that are like it's funny because they're addressed in he addressed them during the performance. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, y'all want me to play the game and do what y'all want me to do up here, but I'm kind of doing what I want, which I thought it was dope, man. If you're a rap fan, I don't know how you could have thought it was bad.
Exactly.
To me, off first watch, I thought it was dope. I will say that, and we'll get to this on second watch, I liked it more.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
that because there was some things in there that I didn't notice as much during the first watch because there was just so much going on with all the dancers and all of that. But I thought it was fire, man. I thought the choreography was fire. I thought
Yeah.
his rapping was dope, and the "Not Like Us," the way he teased it, I thought was brilliant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I saw, cause I was like, who is this crib walking, bro? Like I ain't it's like, who is this? She got like a lot of hair and everything. She look athletic. And then I was like, he does not have Serena Williams out there crib walking, bro. Like
Yo, that was a moment. That was a moment.
yeah, man. Yeah.
That
But
was
you're
that
right
was.
though. I think like first glance, like after this, I saw it the second time. There were certain elements like when you're in a moment, bro. Especially like if you like me who enjoys the Super Bowl, I was inebriated too. Like you're like, oh okay, like all right, this looks dope. Like I took away from it, it looks dope. But then when you like look at it the next day or within a few hours later, you're like, hold on, he was talking about this game, but the actual platform and set is an actual
Yeah,
game controller,
I missed
like
that on the first.
reminiscent of the PlayStation. Yeah, like it was crazy. And then you're hearing Samuel L. Jackson's narration in between. I'm like, okay. So how this is different is number one, he's obviously the first rapper to straight headline this thing, and then he's doing it his way. Like you gotta have. I have nothing but respect because a lot of people are used to, and we're gonna talk about this. They're used to a lot of visual elements, a lot of like they're used to people floating above the crowd and everything else.
Absolutely.
When you're a Kendrick, like especially us, like as fans, having seen him in concert, he doesn't have a backtrack. He's rapping this whole thing. That's an element, unless you're a hip hop fan, you don't really appreciate or understand. And then when you see like the all the elements that come, everything that was on that stage came with the storyline. It was useful, like it was added fuel to whatever message he was trying to convey. It wasn't just lights, cameras, and all this other things for, glitz and glamour. All had a purpose. And I think when you look at like all the background dancers dressed in white or blue or red or whatever,
Mhm.
to, obviously reflect the American flag, and you see all these other elements. I thought SZA coming out, she came out tastefully, like at the right time and did
Yeah.
her thing. You know what I mean? I've been here and she's been getting critiques and everything. It's just like, let's see your Super Bowl performance, bro. Like crazy. But overall, bro, I think this is one of my favorite. I think as far as rappers go, like this is like the standard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For sure.
And I agree. One thing that I noticed about a lot of the critiques was that it was boring or that it wasn't entertaining. And one thing that I think about that is I think this really creates a clear separation between who are fans of actual rap and lyricism versus
Hmm.
who are really fans of just party music. And right now, hip hop is making more of the mainstream party music. So there are some
Hmm.
people who just like catchy songs.
Right.
I think that those aren't the same fans. So I think that
Hmm.
I can understand a lot of people. And I was messaging back and forth with AR Shaw, who we've both met before about this. Is I think that people are used to uh, passively consuming hip hop now,
Absolutely.
where it's just on in the background and you're able to just turn up and you're not actually paying attention to the words. And I think that that's one of the things that
Hmm.
is unfortunate, but a lot of people listen to music that way, where you're just waiting for the catchy chorus to come in. You're not actually paying attention to the lyrics at
Hmm.
all. And if you're that type of listener, you're not going to enjoy something like this
Exactly.
because it's not as easy to follow. You actually have to really be sitting down and actively paying attention to the performance.
Yeah.
So I think that played a role in it. And like I said, he didn't do his hits, so I understand where the critiques come by. Like, would I have liked to see him do all right? Sure. Would I have liked
Hmm.
to see swimming pools? Absolutely. Like, there's some other songs I would have liked, but he chose to a more storytelling route using the
Yeah.
songs that he felt like fit that messaging the best. And he chose specific verses from each one, which I noticed. He didn't do the first verse of each song.
Right.
There was some he chose the second verse, some he chose the third verse. So he wanted to tie the lyrics and the story all in together, which I think
Hmm.
not amazing, man. So when I was
Yeah.
watching it, I was like, yo, this is different. Like different.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and people who've never rapped, I was in a performance group as a kid, so I've had the opportunity to actually perform on the stage.
Yes.
People who've never actually rapped or sung before have no idea how difficult it is to do what he did.
Have no clue.
If you've never rapped, like I understand why you're like, oh, that's him rapping with no backtrack for 20 minutes straight. That's not no, bro. Like that's extremely
Oh
almost
man.
impossible. 99% of rappers cannot do what he did.
No, they can't, especially on that level of stage. You got to think about how far he's jogging, running to get in certain placements to make sure that the camera angles are crisp and sharp and everything else, bro. Like there's so many things. Even if you prepare for this, bro, in the moment, adrenaline rushing, you can't like
No way.
most people can't do that, bro. And then again, with the lyricism, people aren't used to paying attention to that, nor are they used to paying attention to the subtleties. Like when he said to say Drake and he's looking directly at the camera and he has this maniacal smile
Bro,
on, you
let
know
me
what I'm
tell
saying?
you,
Come
we
on.
laughed so hard when that part happened. I said, this is the pettiest, most diabolical man to breathe, man. Like
Easy.
to crack a smile just for that brief moment of saying, "Say Drake."
Knowing he's watching from Australia at
Just
that, bro.
knowing that he's tuned in is very, very easy. You're a mean guy.
Yes, bro.
You're a mean
Yes.
man. Okay, this
Yeah.
is, bro. That was to me. He brought in that song, and for anybody who's not familiar, not like us being the diss record that really changed
Hmm.
things in their back and forth. That the way that he teased it, I thought was amazing. Him talking about, I want to perform this song, but I know they like to sue was
All right.
hilarious. But yeah, I loved it, man. And I also got to shout out Kendrick for putting in other little nuggets throughout the performance, man. I think that it was
Yeah.
needed, man. And I'm not even gonna go into like depth about some of the other symbolism. So I'll talk more on the surface level stuff first, which is like just him mentioning 40 acres and a mule and on the
Yeah.
Super Bowl performance in front of a president who is currently removing DEI. I think
Yeah,
it
man.
and that wasn't a part of a song. You feel me? Like he added that. So like um, you know, there was just cultural moments, them using their bodies to make the American flag, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, was
Hmm.
amazing. I think that Samuel L. Jackson's commentary throughout was extremely impactful of him saying, oh, that's too loud, too ghetto,
Hmm.
and all of that, and and then him going from that to be humble. You know what I mean? It was very very
Yeah.
strategic. All of the
Yes,
song
man.
placement was very very strategic, and I think that I got to shout out Kendrick for that, man. I think that
Yeah.
there's not many Super Bowl performances where people are breaking things down like that. When have there ever been? I'd say the closest would
Yeah.
be Beyonce with some of the symbolism she had in there
Hmm.
with like some of
Yeah.
the Black Panther Party stuff and different things, but like not to this degree where it's like people are breaking down the whole performance. And I could even go deeper on some stuff. I noticed that I don't even know if it's true or not, so I'm not even gonna put it in atmosphere. But the fact that
Yeah.
to me, it represented even Black nationalism and him standing on a Black Grand National. It's a lot of stuff that I think,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if that was his intention or not. He doesn't strike me as somebody who does things unintentionally, but
Exactly. Yeah.
um, yeah, man, just a very well thought out performance. Like I said, there's songs I would have liked to see there.
Hmm.
I think not doing all right in front of the president. You know what I mean? I think that might
I
have been.
wish we had that.
I think that might have been a little moment missed. To be fair, he performed it at the last one when he did the Super Bowl. So maybe
Okay.
he did. Maybe he cut it out for that reason. But I would have liked to see all right. I would have liked to see. There's some other tracks. Same thing with Mad City. I would have liked to see. There's
I
other
would have loved to see him kick it off with Mad City, but yeah.
Yeah. So there's some other songs that I think would have been dope there. But I think
Hmm.
all in all, bro, this is gonna for this to be the first hip hop headliner, like he set the bar extremely high.
Extremely high. And that's the thing what you get when you tap into something that Kendrick is doing. There's always layers to it. So shoot, from probably this time on to the next Super Bowl, we'll probably like uncover some things. You know what I mean? And he had like such he had so much pressure given the fact that he's the first. So like for him to take it in the direction that he did, man, kudos to him. Seriously. Yeah.
Kudos to him, man. And I'll even say this. He's opened up a door now for Super Bowl performances where it's not just expected to be party records anymore.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
think that that's dope for music, not even just hip hop, but just for music on what type of artist can now do a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
now he's opened up a door where maybe one day a J. Cole can do it because they know he's going to
Yeah.
bring storytelling. Not he opened up the door for now one day if a Nas or a Hove wanted to do it, they don't have to come in there thinking, oh, I got to do all my little party popular records. I can go in here and really
Yeah.
break down some storytelling, do some culturally impactful stuff. So I
Yeah.
think that he's shifted what can be done at a
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl performance, and I think it's dope.
Yeah, and that you can do it solo. Like versus having like Dr. Dre having all these like West Coast artists or other artists, like, yo, you can stand there with one mic and really do that. If you're a Nas, you could perform a one mic and really do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and that's the beauty of it too. Now, as far as the reactions that I've seen or I saw, it seems like I don't know, man. It seems like there's just vitriol, like some hate towards just hip hop. But again, like this performance wasn't for those kind of fans. It was for true hip hop fans and those that appreciate lyricism and storytelling. So
Absolutely.
if it didn't work for you, probably just not that type of person, and it's
And-
okay.
yeah, if you're not into more introspective storytelling, in lyrics, like yeah, you're not gonna feel this, and that's okay.
Right.
Guess what? Guess who had to sit through J Lo and Shakira?
Us, yo.
You think I wanted to hear
Nobody wanted to
any
see
of
that.
that? You feel me? Everybody got to sit through some Super Bowl performances that ain't they cup of tea.
You know what I'm saying?
It is what it
Yeah.
is. There's been plenty of ones that I ain't want to see. Next year they might go country and bring up some stuff I don't want to hear. You know what I mean? Who knows? So it
Oh
might be
man.
Jelly Roll and Miley. They might switch
Yeah.
completely up out of this. after this, but I don't
They might
know.
switch it up. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
your boy Post Malone. That might be the next one. Who
I
knows?
wouldn't be shocked, bro. So like, we need to bask in us having this cultural hip hop moment. You feel me? Because we might not
Absolutely.
get it again for a minute. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I think Kendrick set the bar with his Grammy speech. He said, "Yo, hip hop is a shifter, culture shifter of it all." And this was a moment, like, you know what I mean, that further proved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is something you can watch back and you're gonna always notice something different that you might not have caught before. And I think that's when you know you have good art, when it can be interpreted different ways. Like I can
Hmm.
interpret what the Uncle Sam character really represented, and somebody else might perceive it or interpret it a
Yeah.
completely different way. Same thing with the dancers, like what the dancers and the different groups of dancers represent. Also, I want
Mm.
to give Kendrick credit for doing one thing. I always said that I feel like West Coast people don't show the Bay Area enough love. I've always said that.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
always said that they almost act like when they talk about West Coast, they be really
It's
talking about
only
LA.
LA.
They be talking about LA and the surrounding areas, Compton, Inglewood. They're talking
Right.
about the LA area. You feel me?
Hmm.
I like that he had that little doo-wop segment of doing Man in the Garden, which I thought was amazing. But that little
Dope.
hood doo-wop section where they was in there,
Yeah.
and you could tell that they all supposed to be people from the Bay because they popping the collars and it, I,
Hmm.
fire.
Fireman.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that there's a lot of other stuff in there that I noticed, and I was like, yeah, Kendrick is this was a well thought out performance. And like
Yeah,
I said, some
man.
people aren't gonna like it because he they wanted greatest hits and just
Hmm.
pure excitement and just party music. I get it, but
We've gotten that a million times. I like this rendition. Like, I mean, this may be like kind of a hot like take, but I thought Rihanna, like going in, that was one of those artists that did like a greatest hits. Who I was kind of disappointed by. Now, mind you, she was pregnant, you know, so
right.
obviously limitations there. But we've seen artists do it a million times. Like I think like U2 may be one of the few exceptions in 2002 that did something not similar, but like use storytelling as like a, somewhat of a tool. But I think this is another level, man.
Yeah, this
Props.
was an entirely different level. And shout
Hmm.
and to me, to me the best Super Bowl performance is still Prince. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It rained during Purple
Absolutely.
Rain, bro. You
Like,
just
come on, bro. What are we talking about? It
can't.
rained purple.
That still got the belt, but like
Yeah.
this. I have to go through and look at the different ones and see where this one lands for me. But I enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoy.
Yeah.
I would get this. I would get this a solid 9.
I
The
think it's
only,
a nine. I think
the
it
only reason
deserves a nine.
the only reason I can't give it 4 is because, like I said, the mic, man. I feel like his mic was too low. I wanted to be able to
Yeah.
hit those lyrics close. Like, if you're gonna do this type of style, man, we need to
Yeah.
be able to hit those lyrics. I feel like they did. I feel like they sabotaged my man's because they was
I
like, we
know,
gotta make
bro.
sure in case he say something crazy, we need to be able to edit this out.
Yo, I think I don't want to like start throwing conspiracy theories out there, but I don't know. Trump was in the building, bro. Maybe he was like, "Hey, turn that joint down." He about to,
Hey, this is a little
yeah,
loud, man. No, that was
yeah,
that's really my only complaint. Like I said,
mm-hmm,
my only complaint is I thought that the mic was low. Um and yeah, and I would have liked to see it all right. And
mm.
yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Other than that, I loved it.
I loved it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to K Dot, man. You got people breaking down a Super Bowl performance, bro. Like this
yeah,
insane. Insane that you've been able to make a performance that's typically just, what I mean, a highlight reel. You've been able to turn this into a think piece, which I think
exactly. Like most Super Bowl performances, like you said, bro. Like it's exciting on the day, the night, maybe some whispers the night after, the morning after. But like we could talk about this. I'm sure people will talk about this for another week, bro. It'll circulate the news cycle. You know what I
abs-
mean? So yeah.
absolutely. And that's Say Drake. I'm that picture is going to be used. I might post it tonight.
Yes, bro.
So, because that was as diabolical as it gets.
As you can get, man. Crazy.
Bro, don't tell me I like them young and some bell bottom, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on.
That's insane. Shout out to K Dot, man.
Shout out to him.
Yes, sir, man. What we got up next? Let's see.
Man, that Larry June and Two Chainz album, bro. Something I did not expect from them
Bro,
two.
let me tell you. So on
Yeah.
first, when you sent me this, I was like, bro,
Mhm.
that gotta be the most random. And no, and Alchemist.
And Alchemist.
So
Yeah.
every June, 2 Chainz over Alchemist beats. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
My first thought when I saw that combo, I said this is gonna be trash. And let me tell you why.
Wow.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't. I like all of those pieces. individually, and I
Yes.
like Larry June and Alchemist together. I've heard them together, and I
Hmm.
thought it's been dope. But to me, Two Chains is like such a polar different thing than
Yeah.
those are. Like
Uh-huh.
Two Chains almost um yeah, it's just different. I don't really know how to define it. Two
Hmm.
Chainz style is just so drastically different than a Larry June. I didn't know how I would like the
Yeah.
collaboration. Yeah, I'm be honest. I did not have very high expectations for this project. Now, what were your thoughts when you first saw that they were collaborating?
So my first thoughts when I saw that they're collaborating, and I'm actually like trying to go through his discography. I think it's off of Larry June's The Night Shift, where him and Two Chainz have like collaborated like a decent amount over the years, like on what is it, Ocean Cuisine, few other records, bro. And usually, I'm gonna be honest, this might surprise you. There's some of my favorite records on these projects, man. Like,
Okay.
and so that gave me like an idea of like where it was going to go. Like I knew it wouldn't be buns. I knew that, but it's just like with those factors, you never know because we're not accustomed to seeing Two Chainz rap on an Alchemist beat. Not
That
really.
that that
You
that's
know what I mean?
that's the thing that threw me off. It's the two
Hmm.
over in Alchemist beat. Now, it makes sense on face value of they both talk fly stuff and
Yeah, exactly.
expensive stuff. Like
Hmm.
they both are luxury rappers, if you will. So
For sure.
on that front, I think it made sense. I just think they do it very differently. And listening
Yeah.
to the project, I also thought that they still do it very differently. But what were your
Hmm.
thoughts on the album?
Yo, I like this album a lot. I think it just sounds like the title of the album is Life is Beautiful and it sounds beautiful. Like it sounds effervescent, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Write that one down for our viewers. But yeah, no, I thought it was I thought it was dope, bro. Like it just sounds beautiful. We shouldn't even be surprised. Like for me, the production is obviously one of the highlights because it's Alchemist, bro. Like I've been an Alchemist fan for like 10 plus years at this point, and he's been around far longer than that. So yeah, Alchemist cooked this one up like perfectly. And then like some of my favorite records, man, is Munyon Canyon, like the opener. Like from that point, it pretty much set it off for me. I was like, okay, if this
Yeah.
is what it's going to be, I'm gonna listen to this all the way through. No, like really no issues or hiccups, really. Aside from like a few records like Colossal, I didn't really love it was pretty much magic for me, bro. And one of my favorite records, I know you're going to say it too, is Generation. Generation to me is the best song on this album, bro. It basically
Mm,
is saying, yo, we are the generation. We are the reason that these YNs, these younger artists or folks are doing the lean, popping the pills, toting the guns. Like we're the reason, we're the generation that really is like responsible for that.
right.
And I will argue that maybe that's true, maybe it's not, whatever. But like I think the idea is just fresh, like it's fly, like off that top. Because you don't hear a lot of rappers actually taking responsibility and taking onus for some of the things, the perils of this generation is now kind of like coming in with, bro. So that was dope for me. You already know us being businessmen ourselves, LLC is gonna hit.
That one is hard.
You know what I mean? Epiphany any day, like to me, Life is Beautiful is just that, bro. Like when I listen to this, I feel like I need to get up, hustle, do something crazy for the day, and circle back and do it the next, man. So I really like this. I really like it.
Yeah, man, I have to agree, man. I really like this project. I thought that it was dope. I like some of my favorite ones that stood out to me. Munya, Kenya, same thing, like super
Hmm.
smooth record. I think that their
Hmm.
styles worked well together. The production on this project is fire. Like I gotta
Fire.
give Alchemist credit. Like there's some dope production on here. LLC is probably my favorite one on here.
Mm.
I think it's just hard. I think it's
Yeah.
like that one. That one is dope. Life is Beautiful is dope. Um, I think those are my favorites, and I like the outro too. Um,
Yeah.
I don't got enough money to pronounce it right. Jean Prove. I don't know. It sound expensive, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, believe it or not,
Mm.
I don't like Generations,
That's
but let
crazy.
me tell you why.
Wow. Uh-huh.
I think they missed a valuable opportunity with that record. I love the
Mm.
chorus and the concept,
Yeah.
but the verses have absolutely nothing to do with any of that.
That
And
is
to
true.
me, I hate when rappers do that. That is one of
Yeah.
my biggest pet peeves is when
Yeah.
you take a dope or deep concept and you put it on the
Mm.
chorus, and then your verses is just random,
It's random.
random,
It's a little
just
random.
random nonsense raps. And I think that's what messed it up for me. To me, that would have been a dope opportunity for y'all to talk about how this
Mhm.
generation is and some of the mistakes they're making and how y'all played a role in them. This maybe the mistakes that y'all made as kids or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Coming up, I feel like
that's
that
valid.
y'all missed a dope opportunity with a dope chorus and a
Yeah,
dope beat by Alchemist, and
yeah.
y'all went on there and just blabbed about nothing. You feel me? I hated it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I hate.
dang.
I
Yeah,
that if it was on if they stuck with the chorus's theme,
and the
would have loved
theme.
it.
Yeah.
Would have loved it.
Cause it
Um,
sound fly, bro. Like people, like that's the thing too. That's what we love about like the artists that we really rock with is their ability to like place these type of things in there. Had they like had like, let's just say for argument's sake, if they had like maybe not a generic hook, but maybe they had a, just a hook that just sounded good, but they integrated these same themes in the
mhm.
actual verses, we would be like, we would love it. Versus the
Absolutely.
inverse, I hear you. I still love this joint, but like you definitely got a valid point.
Yeah, that was my only concern. Like it started off, I was excited. I said, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'll put an introspective joint on here." Then it kept going, and I was like, "Is this the same song?" I have to like replay it. Like
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
threw me off with that one, man. Y'all had like golden opportunity to talk about something. You know what I mean? That was valid. But other points on this album, I feel like, dude, they talk about the importance of raising your family. They talk about
Yeah.
hustling and being ambition and going out there and getting it. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
that on here too. It's just
Yeah.
that one. Y'all started with the chorus, and I felt like y'all was going somewhere. Y'all did not get to the
Yeah.
destination on that one. Y'all.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I think overall, I think it's a dope project. Their styles work really, really well together.
They do.
And I didn't expect that, man. And shout out 2 Chainz, man. I remember 2 Chainz came and performed at our homecoming. This was my freshman year in college. And I remember I used to always say, like, I wasn't the biggest 2 Chainz fan because I feel like he had a lot of goofy, cringe-worthy bars, which I
He
still
did though.
feel, and he does on this too, by the way. There's some bars on here where I'm like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like,
Yeah.
what he say? I got more Eve than Tennessee. He be saying some stuff. I'll
Yeah,
be like, all
man.
right. But when I saw him live, fire,
Hmm.
fire.
What
Like
made it fire though? He's
his
not someone I would
performances, bro,
expect.
because this was
Uh,
when he had a bunch of like, this was when he was featuring on everybody's song. This was when he like just
uh-huh.
sounded good music. And I remember he on stage, no entourage, no hype man, by himself, him, microphone, and killed up there like over an hour, bro.
That's
Just
crazy.
floating over songs, doing all the features, all the. And I'm like, yo, and I didn't realize dude was like 6'5", like huge,
Yeah, bro. He
and
saw.
up there going crazy. And I just was like, oh, I get this now, like.
Yeah.
But at first, I was like, nah. Like, I liked some of the stuff he did with Player Circle, but I wasn't like sold on him as a solo artist for real.
Mm-mm, nah, I don't think, bro. I think he's one that we talked about this in one of our first episodes with him kind of like rebranding and him kind of
Mhm.
like really changing like everybody's perception of him, bro. Because as Titty Boy, he wasn't like, I don't think anybody saw this coming,
The
right?
other one,
Like,
the other song he had as Titty Boy that I think I liked was I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's my
yeah.
I spent I had
Mhm.
Chicago going crazy. I remember that one. That was the one I remember. But other than
Was
that,
he 2 Chainz in or he was still Titty
I don't
Boy?
know. I feel like he might have been Titty Boy around that time. I think that was like
Maybe.
right before, or maybe he had just shaved. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
something like that. I remember that record, but yeah, that I could see Chicago folks going crazy.
that was one of those ones. Well, other than that, I wasn't really hip to him till that yeah, to the good music switch when he started hopping on the tracks with them, and I was like, oh, okay. But me
Yeah,
seeing him live, I was like, oh,
you
okay,
get it
he
now.
can rap.
Yeah,
Okay, this is dope. Like seeing
yeah.
it live. Sometimes seeing people live changes your perception of them as an artist. Like
Both good and bad. Because I've seen
facts.
some artists where I'm like, okay, you are a studio artist, and that's
Bro,
okay.
it's one that pop in my mind right now, but I don't feel bad to say it.
And like for me, it's easy. It's mostly singers,
I
bro.
was,
Like,
that's what
yeah,
I'm thinking of. I'm being I'll say it on here. Man, I remember because he might have got better by now, but I remember like I like Trey Songz music. I remember hearing him on Just Gotta Make It.
oh
I remember like
yeah,
I remember that he had Just Gotta Make It with Twister. That was the first song I heard. That was really his first like big single. And I
yeah,
remember like it was everyone in Chicago because it was Twister on it. So the one thing
yeah.
about Chicago, they will promote their own. So they were playing on WGCI and radio stations out there 24/7.
Mm,
I remember hearing being like, "Oh, this is dope." But then I remember we went and saw him somewhere. I don't know if it was a festival or I don't remember where it was in Chicago, but I remember hearing like I remember like being like he can't sing, bro.
Yo, that's crazy because people
And
are
I even
now
remember my
saying that.
mom being like he can't sing.
People are now saying that though. Like they like the internet, bro, has been internet and they pulling
Really?
up old clips of him like live, not recent, but like, when he was in his prime and they're like, bro, this dude could never sing. So you get revisionist history, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know if he could sing, but I don't
And
know.
at the same time, bro, it's I mean it's all up for perception. And I think at the same
Yeah.
time, um, some people if your music is dope enough, man, sometimes you good. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you the best example of that. Keith Sweat. You know what I'm saying? I've never thought
Hmm.
Keith Sweat necessarily had the best voice, but his music was fire. So
Yeah.
it's
And he
like,
could perform. I've never seen him, but from seeing videos, from hearing, my parents like talk about him back in the day, like they were like he could perform with the best of them
yeah.
within R&B and 90s R&B. So
Yeah, so I feel like what I mean Trey Songz had fire music, like his songs
yeah.
were good. So I feel like you're you know what I mean. Right,
Mhm.
you might not be the best vocalist, but if you're bit better in one of the other areas, then it evens out. Because some people are
Exactly.
amazing singers, but they got trash songs. So
Facts. Or they got amazing pens, can't sing, or they can do both, but can't perform, or they don't have the look or you know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah,
hard, bro. This joint is hard.
it's
Like,
hard
I
to
would
have
never want to be on
all
it.
of it.
Exactly. Like, Beyonce's don't walk around just every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's someone who probably, like, what I would say has it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
and man, and then on another note, bro, not to deviate too much, but to go back to Super Bowl, there's only like three artists left alive who who I think would be like do like phenomenal Super Bowl performances that I'm
Hmm.
well, let me four, but there aren't many that I'm like super excited about, and most of them are canceled or in jail. So like like some of the best artists who I feel like their catalog. I wish people could go and perform other people's catalog because
Yeah. Yeah.
like one of the best to me, the best Super Bowl performance catalog wise would be Kanye, but it's not going to be Kanye clearly.
It's not
So
going to be
like,
Kanye. Yeah.
absolutely not. But he has the best catalog for a Super Bowl. I
Absolutely.
mean, or
Spans like generations. Yeah.
then it spans generations. He got introspective stuff, storytelling, the whole nine, where he could do so much with it.
Hmm.
Or I ain't we ain't gonna talk about the one who locked up. That's a whole nother.
Yeah.
He ain't
Yeah.
doing no Super Bowls either. They need to
Hmm.
let Chris Brown do it, man.
Oh yeah, Chris. I feel like that's an easy one for
That's
real.
easy. That's a layup.
Layup. You can't go wrong. And he just won a Grammy for R&B album. Like, bro, come on. Usher just performed. Come on, bro. Like he performed last year's Super Bowl. Like Chris Brown deserves a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Anybody else who you really look for at the Super Bowl?
Man, if we talking, I can't. It's tough when it comes to hip hop or R&B acts.
I would say Hove as out of hip hop. I think Hove.
Yeah, Hov for sure. That's a good one.
I don't know
Um,
if he could book himself, but Hove.
I feel like he has power to do it, but like they'll probably be like, "Nah, you too self-serving, bro. Nah."
Yeah,
What if they were like, "You can't do it unless Beyonce is it's a package deal." That would be interesting. That'd be crazy,
that'd be crazy.
especially with her performing like relatively recently. That'd be crazy. I can't think of anybody like within rap or R&B other than those folks. Like, of course, like if you want to dive into like country folk like esque, which we don't, but Zach Bryan, I think like he's earned enough cachet maybe to headline something. I don't know, man. I gotta sit with that one. But
Yeah,
within hip hop R&B, I can't think of too many names, honestly.
no, not yeah. I can't really think of that many, man. Once
Yeah,
you go to like other generations, like yeah,
yeah.
like
And Alicia Keys performed with Usher, so and she hasn't really like you know what I mean. She's not like been
yeah, I don't think
releasing music.
I don't think she can headline.
Yeah, I think she's a great feature though.
Yeah.
Like it's tough, bro. Like it's not easy up there, bro.
No, bro, that's you gotta really be able to
You
you
got sing, dance. You know
and
what
you
I
gotta
mean?
have a huge fan base too.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a lot. But okay, all right. Well, yeah. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? We got oh, we got a throwback review.
We do have a throwback review, man.
Yes,
Additional.
sir, man. So for those who do not know, we've decided we want to do a couple of records are out of the year of 2000. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like the year 2000 was a fire year for hip hop. You know, we don't talk about it.
Hmm.
Maybe it's everybody thinking the world was going to end or whatever that made people put out some fire music in 2000. But for this one, we want to talk about Outkast, Stankonia.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. What are your initial thoughts on this album?
Yeah, so my initial thoughts, like, you
Just
know,
general.
I'm willing to say this too. Like, I wasn't a huge Outkast fan until their next album. Like, because I didn't grow up really in the era where like Speaker
Mm,
Box was my introduction to Outkast, basically.
okay.
I was 6 years old. Like, that was my introduction. I didn't obviously hear AT Aliens. That was before I was born. Equimini, I think I'm saying that right.
Aquemini.
Equimini, like I wasn't in that era. So um when I going back to Stankonia though, and like the only song I really heard was So Fresh, So Clean. Everybody heard that. Miss Jackson, like these are like hits, mega hits. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Bombs Over Baghdad, like these are crazy hits. But actually listening to the album in full and seeing like how it's all weaved in together, bro, it makes you appreciate those songs more.
Hmm.
It makes you appreciate Outkast more going back to it, at least for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I think this is my view. I think Speaker Box was at the height of their popularity. I think artistically, although Big Boy and Andre 3000 were kind of like it was like oil water at that point. They still found a way to still make great music together,
Hmm.
even with them having separate styles at this point. You
Yep.
can see Andre kind of veering off. Would you say this is the point where he was kind of
Oh,
going a little bit
absolutely.
more artistic?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is Erica.
Yeah.
This one he got with Erica.
So Erica's on the album, so that makes sense.
This one he got with
Uh,
Erica Badu, man. You can hear it. You can hear it.
yes, open toe shoes, like
He
it's
started
all
getting
that.
way more melodic. He started
Uh-huh.
veering away from the just rapidy rap stuff. He started a lot
Exactly.
of his verses started melding way more melodic singing.
Yeah. And so like I think for that reason, like I think I'm just like, 3 more years, y'all got it. Like, and like I think that's where my mind is taking me. But I try to like separate that, just listen to it as is. And I think I like it. You know what I mean? I like Stankonia. Is it to me a classic? I think in other people's eyes it is. For me, it's a pretty good album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
For me, like there's classic records like So Fresh, So Clean, Miss Jackson. I really like I'll call before. Oh wait, I can't say that. But yeah, like
Yeah,
I like
I
that
know the one.
record with
And now
Gangsta
that
Boo.
hard.
It is though. Explosion, I think would be real. That was kind of left field for me. I never listened or heard Explosion before that, ironically. But then
Mm.
I hear it would be real. I'm like, hold on, what? Like a West Coast loped out dude, and y'all did it and it worked. I didn't really like Humble Mumble at the beginning. I thought it was a little all over the place. I was kind of like taken aback a little bit. But once they
Yeah.
get into like maybe the maybe 2.5 minute mark, I don't know what it is. But once it transitions a little bit, I'm like, okay, like I like this.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, overall, man, as I said, I like Stankonia, the title track with Sleepy Brown and Big Rube. I like this album all like pretty much through and through. There's some spots where I'm like, I can do without it. It just seems a little too mismatch of a style musically, but I think overall, like, yo, you can't be mad at this one.
Absolutely, bro. And I would say the same, man. I really enjoy this project. Not my favorite Outkast album, but an
Hmm.
album that I definitely still love. There's definitely some of the highlights. So Fresh, So Clean, Miss Jackson. I think the production on here is fire. Shout out to Organized Noise. I know played a big
Yeah.
producing this along with Outkast, but a lot of live instrumentation on this album, which I appreciate. It's very funk influenced. You can hear it.
Hmm.
You could tell that they pulled a lot from funk music, and I'm a big fan of funk music. Like Bootsy
Yeah.
Collins, George Clinton. Me and my mom have went to go see George Clinton in Parliament before, like all that, like that. I love that era of music. So
Hmm.
um, this pulled a lot of that, and definitely appreciate it. Call Before I, you know what I mean. Also, one I really love. I've always one of my favorite Outkast songs is "Bombs Over Baghdad." I've always just thought it was
Hmm.
fire rap songs. Period. I just
Yeah.
think that the Andre just went stupid
He
on
went
this.
nuclear, literally.
Yeah, like it's just a fire record. Like that one is
Mm.
dope. I also like Explosion. Um, we love these. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. I can't
Oh,
believe I can say that. Well, I can't, but
hard.
yeah.
I actually like Humble Mumble. I like the music on it, so I just
Yeah.
added me to it. Um, There's a couple that I really that I don't care for at all. I would definitely say that. Snapping and trapping, I don't like. Like it's just too much going on. It's just
It's too
too
much.
too many sounds all over the
Hmm.
place. Like not as yeah, it's just not easy on the ears for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's a few songs like that on here, but I would say all in all, though, and I also really love the title track too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's fire, bro. All in all, man, I really do like this album. It's not my favorite Outkast album, and that's not a shot because Outkast don't really have no bad albums to me.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a fact.
I first really got into Outkast really on this album. I think some of the first
Oh wow.
Outkast songs are on here, like Miss Jackson,
Uh-huh.
Moms Over Baghdad. Those were some of the first Outkast songs I heard, and then I had a cousin who put me on the older stuff. You know what I mean? So that's when I got
Okay.
Stankonia, AT Aliens. I mean, Aquemini. Aquemini is probably my favorite one. I just like the way Aquemini sounds.
Mm.
I just think that they were just in a different pocket on Aquemini, and it
Yeah.
worked. And there's a lot of like conscious stuff in there too. I just think it's a dope project. Speak About Love Below though, amazing. Like,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean? Amazing. And then AT Aliens fire too. So I think out of their out of the hierarchy, Stankonia is probably like number three for me.
Okay. And that's not bad. Like you said,
The
like
Southern
going
Play, even
back.
their first album is
uh,
fire. Southern
Yeah, it
Playlist.
is. Like even going back, right? Like for me, like going back to these, it makes you appreciate their evolution musically too and artistically. Like it's like, hold on, they started off on some playalistic type junk, and then they transitioned and became mega stars. Like,
Yeah.
yo, and then you go back to it, you see like the conscious messaging, you see them rapping at peak form, like even then, you know what I mean? Like so,
Mhm.
yeah, it makes you appreciate that. I think for me, Stankonia would probably rank fourth. But again, that's not a knock. That's not a
No.
knock because
No.
this is a great group. This is one of hip hop's best groups ever. Like I think
Yeah.
you consider them your top group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
They're my top hip hop group. Some
Mm.
people won't consider them a group or a duo, whatever. More than one person. They're. I would say that
Right.
they're my favorite. Sonically for sure.
Yeah.
For
I think
sure.
for me it's a tribe called Quest, but you know what I mean?
Tribe is probably second or third for me. Tribe is up there.
Yeah.
But I gotta think Wu Tang. Then I gotta think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I would say that that's the trifecta for sure to me.
For sure. Like
And
that's the hierarchy.
yeah, gotta be.
Yeah.
And I think that on Stankonia, I think gotta shout them out because this is such a pivot from the album before this. Like Aquemini and Stankonia sound nothing alike.
Nothing alike, bro.
Night and day. And so I gotta salute them for being so experimental with music, man, and
Hmm.
really pushing the boundaries of what they're supposed to sound like. I always give artists credit for that because it's easy to just rock out with the sound that works. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So Aquemini was commercially successful, so it would have been easy for them to just be like, let's just make another Aquemini. But for
exactly.
them to say, no, let's pivot and do something completely different, you know what I mean, takes a lot of courage as an artist. And I think there's only a handful of artists who I've seen in hip hop really who make these drastic shifts every album like this.
Yeah,
Um,
and credit to Big Boy, bro. Like it's crazy, man. Like everybody has a friend or a homeboy that like, are you burning incense? Do you have sea moss? Like, are you eating sea moss smoothies, bro? Like, when did you start doing probiotic drinks and all that? Like, we all have homies that kind of transition or make like take up new lifestyles, whatever. So
yeah.
for Big Boy to see his homeboy be like, did you just make Miss Jackson, bro? Like, this is what you want to do? Like, and actually not only like encouraging him to do it, but putting it on the album to show that, we got different shades to this group that we've been a part of or have, led. So, shout out to him and Andre for being the creative genius he is, man. Crazy.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to both of them for being able to allow each other to shine in their element. And I don't think it
Mhm.
works if Big Boy is not Big Boy because if Big Boy isn't there rapping the player stuff, it would be harder to it would be harder to take in Andre. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
Big Boy kind of makes it where it's like he adds the cool sauce on it for you
Mhm.
to be able to I don't know how to say, but not. not like it's Andre's bad, but it's different. I think it made it easier
It's
for
different.
people to take in Andre's music,
Hmm.
with Big Boy being there. So I think
Yeah.
so both of them play a major role in making Outkast what it is, and even letting Andre rock out on like Prototype is one of my favorite Andre 3000 songs, and
Yeah.
that is completely left field. That's as
For
left
sure.
field of a song as you can get. But it's just dope to me. I always like some of his risks that he's taking. Roses, you know what I mean. A lot of stuff on
Roses.
Love Below
Yeah.
is really just like amazing, but it's so left.
It's
I,
so
I know
different.
I know there had to be some time where Big Boy was looking at him like, bro, what?
Yes, bro. I know yo, had to been some infighting like creatively or musically, bro, where they're just like, I'm glad we doing this separate, bro, because I don't know what you're doing. And it worked though. It worked, man. Like,
It
yeah,
did,
like, because we saw
and both
like
sides are fire.
both sides. And we saw like uh what's that joint? Ray Shremmer, right? I'm not comparing the two, but just Ray Shremmer did they didn't do like a two-part album, they did three albums in one, which is some we I never thought I would see for real. They tried it. It's actually all right. Like a lot of people don't like Shrimp Life 3, but they wouldn't have done or aspired to do that had it not been for Speaker Box Love Below, man. So they're
Mhm.
influential beyond measure, man. So
Beyond
Outkast,
measure.
that group for sure.
Outkast pushed hip hop. I don't think hip hop gets to where it is now without Outkast. I
Absolutely
don't. I
not.
don't know if we get a Kanye. I don't know if we get a Lupe. I
Mhm.
don't know if we get a Pharrell. I don't know
I
if we
don't
get
think we
a
get a
lot.
Kid Cudi.
I don't think. I definitely don't think we get a Kid Cudi.
Mm-mm.
That's right off the 100,000 tree. It's a lot of them who I feel like we don't. Hip hop doesn't get to evolve where it can be all of these different eccentric things without
Yeah.
outlets. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they
Absolutely.
pushed the boundaries of what hip hop could be and sound like. So I got to give them credit for that, man. So shout out Outkast, man. Y'all put on for hip hop and then definitely put on for the South. Like,
Absolutely, man.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
let,
Andre said, what, like Source Awards, I want to say
yep,
1995, he said the South got something to say, bro. And it's rang true ever since, man.
yes, sir. Put that flute down, sir.
Yeah, please, bro.
Put that
For
flute down, sir, and pick up that microphone, man. Hey, go ahead,
yo,
man. I know you still got bars. I just know it, bro. Just
I
put that,
know it.
every feature he done hopped on been fire.
Been fire, bro.
Yeah.
Like recent features
Oh,
too. They
the one on Down is the best verse on the whole album.
absolutely.
It's
I
not
don't
even
I don't
close.
want anybody to argue that. That's a fact.
Not even close. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When he done hopped on the joints with 16 with Rick Ross, every feature
Uh,
he's gotten on in the last decade, man, he's bodied.
hmm.
Oh yeah, man. We go ahead and put that flute down.
Yeah, man. And
Oh,
we didn't talk about this during our Grammy episode, but like the fact that that was nominated for Album of the Year is, I'm
disgusting.
sorry to say it, it's wild, but all the
Disgusting.
best to him.
That's famous privilege right there, boy.
It
'Cause
is.
now you know ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I played that as background music in one of my classes one time, and I was like, this ain't even good lo-fi music. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Yeah, man. But another thing that we wanted to talk about
We're
is
forced to talk about, honestly, man. We got to. He's forcing us.
I don't even want to. Let's talk around him. Can we talk around
Yeah,
him?
we could. We
Okay.
could.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yeezy.
Yeah.
All right. So he's been on a rant. You know, he's been tweeting everything obscene that he could think of and
Mhm.
everything egregious that he could think of. And he's just been putting it all out there for attention, which we're used to him doing at this point.
Mhm.
It's usually when he has a project coming out. So that's why I don't give him the crazy out because it's usually right before album time, which he has an
Mhm.
album called Bully coming out. So we need to not pay this any mind. But the bigger conversation to me is to talk around him
Mhm.
is can you actually are people actually canceled in music? Can you actually
Mm.
be canceled?
No. I think
I
I
don't think
think
so
that's my
either.
short answer. I think people can be in timeout. That's what that's what it should just be called. Because as soon as you make a record that everybody likes, your
You
whole
back in
life
there.
you're back in there,
You
bro. As
back
soon
in
as you make
there.
a video, like even it expands like artists. Like if you're a Joe
Facts.
Rogan, as soon as you have a special guest on or episode or moment that everybody loves, you're in their good graces again, bro. It happens and people forget about it seamlessly. Like It happens every time. So if like someone of Ye's ilk or like someone within a different industry who's at that same level decides to give something that people love, in that case it's music and others is something else. They're gonna be let out of timeout. They get to play with the rest of the, you know what I mean, folks now. Like it's the same thing, man. Like, and it's kind of tired. Like the whole idea of being canceled is kind of tired to me, bro.
Yeah, it
Like
is. I agree.
it's not real. It's not a real thing. Like, you
No,
know what
it's
I'm
not,
saying?
bro. Just because y'all mad on the internet, you know what I mean? And I mean, it becomes real when you take away business opportunities. So, like, I
Hmm.
think Chris Brown, they actually tried to cancel him. You know what I mean? Like, he lost
Hmm.
opportunities, he lost brand deals. So I feel like you can lose that, but artistically, um, I don't think you can be canceled because if your art is good enough, people are gonna observe it. So that's just I don't think
Yeah.
there's a way around that. I think if
Hmm.
your art stands out enough, it don't matter what you're doing. People are gonna pay attention to what the art is. And that's
Yeah.
across the board. That's film, that's
Hmm.
music, but especially music.
Especially music. Yeah.
I think music doesn't really have any bounds in that way. You know what I mean?
It
Like
doesn't.
people
Yeah.
people was mad at old boy till Ignition came out.
Facts.
And then Step in the Name of Love came out. And then you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like when music is at the forefront, I don't think you can really be canceled if the
Hmm.
music is fine. Now, if your music trash, it's a lot easier to cancel you.
Yeah, it's easy to do that. I'm trying to think of an example, but I know like even with I know it's a different situation. It's more split on people's perception of him. But like a Tory Lanez, as soon as he started making records in jail, they like the whole free Tory mob came back,
Oh,
blaring their horn.
oh,
So it's the same thing.
boy, if he come out with some heat when he get out, well, I don't know how long he got, but whenever he get out, if he come out with some heat, people are gonna listen to it, bro.
Yeah,
People put art before people's personal lives. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But rather that, and some people agree with it, disagree with it, whatever. But
Mhm.
I don't think canceling is a real thing. I almost think we need to stop saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's not a real thing, bro. I don't think it really exists. I think there's barring people a certain opportunity, sure. Like bro, like the dude we're talking about, Ye, compared himself, or he said he himself was like the reincarnation of one of the worst figures in the human race. People are still gonna listen to Bully, bro. That's just the reality of the situation, and it's disappointing to a degree, but that's just what the world is. Music transcends even things that people hate.
And the thing is, I think that we're getting to a point where people are like, I also think that people have evolved to the point where people are like, they realize what he's doing.
Yeah, that's also true.
It's
That's
like, bro,
fair.
you have an album coming out, you're selling stuff on your website, and then now you're saying the things. We've watched you do this for 10 years straight as your rollout, like every album.
Every time, and people still draw eyes to it.
People still like, oh my God, I can't believe what he's saying. It's like, bro,
Did
like,
you hear what he said, Lear? Let me send it to you. Like it's the same. It's the
yeah.
same routine.
And there's still people are still having think pieces about it. Like that's why I said I wanted us to talk around it. I don't want us to pull up tweets and talk about
Yeah,
it because nah, like
and we don't represent that, so obviously, I'm not even going to voice that. I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
nah, we good on that. But yeah. I wanted to have that conversation because I thought about it when I keep hearing people say, "Oh, this person's canceled, this person canceled." I'm like, bro, don't nobody really get canceled out here.
Nobody get canceled,
You
and
can
plus,
lose
yeah.
opportunity. Well, in music, nobody
In
get,
music,
people get
sure,
canceled in real life in other fields, but
yeah. I don't think music because the baby they wanted to cancel him. That man is probably on tour as we speak right now. Who knows? Like, like it's not a real thing. Like
look,
I said, it's
Chris Brown
timeout.
sold out the biggest venue in Africa twice.
Yes, bro. Like I call it. We might as well call it intermission. Like that's that's all it
Intermission,
is,
bro.
bro.
Timeout. I like timeout. Timeout is
Yeah,
really that is
yeah,
really what it is. It's
yeah.
timeout, bro. It's like, hey, we don't like what you're doing right now. We're gonna pull away some support for a minute.
Facts. You'll
But
be in Monopoly jail for a few months, few weeks,
and
few days for even some. But
if you're talented,
if
you
you're
can.
talented,
And
absolutely.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example where if you're not talented, it doesn't work. And now I just thought of an example of a not talented person. It didn't work
Who?
with 6ix9ine,
Nah, it did not.
not in
And
America at
and
least.
he switched whole genres, bro.
He had to switch whole genre, bro, because people was like, all right, we cool. Like that, I think that's different. But if you're actually gifted and like
Yeah.
talented,
Hmm.
I think there's not much of a cancellation that can really occur.
Exactly. Because that direct comp is Gunna, who came out with some solid records, a solid album,
Yeah.
two of them.
But I
People
remember,
forget.
I'll give you another example, bro, from Rick Ross. I remember when 50 Cent put out
Oh,
all that stuff about Rick Ross being a correctional officer and all that.
oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. That's
And then
crazy.
you know what came out? I think I'm big meat. Larry, who anybody care about? When Teflon Don dropped, ain't nobody care about none of that, bro. We don't care about
Dang.
what you talking about. This song hard. This album hard. Teflon Don is one of my his album is crazy.
Yeah, no, the album is
That's
insane.
one of the hardest. That album is hard.
And at that, before that came out, though, you're right, though. People thought, like, I thought Rick Ross was over with, bro. 50 put that out or he did whatever he did. I was like, oh, yeah, his career is over. Little old me, like, what, in elementary school or something? I was like,
Yeah.
he's done. Came out with Teflon Don, bro. Changed the whole paradigm,
Well,
bro.
people done, bro. Hey, look, that ain't real, man.
It
People
don't exist.
they
It
don't
don't
exist,
exist.
man. Good. Look. Had to have that conversation, man. I feel like it was important. We got anything else we got to get to?
Nah, that's it for episode 30, man.
Bro, episode 30, man. Another one in the book. We had 30 piece.
Crazy, bro.
Hey, we getting back to some in-person,
Yes.
face-to-face live podcasting, man. We appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with us, even in this virtual format. But we are
Mhm.
getting back in the studio in the next few weeks.
Yes,
So
man.
so stay tuned, man. We got some upgrades coming. We got, you know what I mean? It's gonna look nice. We're gonna get it right for y'all.
Yes, multi can't all that. We don't have to talk equipment with y'all, but y'all know the vibe, man.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Bringing it back, man. Until next time, bro.
Peace.